Yo, what's up? Welcome to KindaFunny Games Daily for Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the CEO Senior himself, a.k.a. WWE Superstar, a.k.a. host of WWE's This Is Awesome, Greg Miller.
Blessing, how screwed up is it that it's Wednesday?
It's so fucked up.
Right?
Yeah.
All yesterday, I was like, all right, well, I got Sunday tomorrow. I'm like, no, today's Sunday. And then, no, tomorrow's not. It's tomorrow's Wednesday.
The thing that messed me up was that on Monday, get off of work, and I'm like, oh, I have nothing going on tomorrow, but I was still tired from work. Yeah. And so I had the idea of, I can stay up and play video games or whatever. Sure. I fell asleep at 8 p.m.
Damn. See, but you got to listen to your body sometimes. Yeah, you got to listen to your body sometimes.
That's true. That's true. I did have an active weekend. I did my birthday celebration, went bowling, went karaokeing. Yeah. I put myself through the gauntlet on Saturday. And so I think I needed that Monday to recover. But then yesterday, it was 4th of July, went to the Alameda County Fair with some friends. And
you went to the Alameda
County Fair.
How much lemonade did you drink?
I drink quite a bit of lemonade, yeah. Is that the thing with Alameda?
I mean, you're at the any kind. I went to the Marin County Fair with Lucy James, Jen, and Ben recently, and I love lemonade. For me, there's only one size.
He reaches down. What the fuck?
If you're gonna be drinking lemonade at the fair, you gotta go get a Phil's lemonade. It's fresh squeezed, and they sell the giant ass thing. And if you ain't drinking like this, you ain't living at the fair.
Is that really lemonade in there? There's no way that's actually lemonade.
No, I drank all the lemonade at the fair. Why would I Barrett, if you want to go buy me a 2-liter lemonade or make me some lemonade, I'll drink it.
You know what I had at the fair? I had a deep fried cheesecake on a stick.
Yeah, and everything's got to be on a stick.
Everything's got to be on a stick. I'm usually not a fan of all the deep fried stuff, right? Yeah. All like the fair food is not my jam. Like the chocolate covered bacon and stuff like that. That's not me.
Sure.
The deep fried cheesecake, upon first bite, wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
3 bites later, one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's just weird that it was warm. That's the only thing.
So walk me through Blessing Adeoye Jr. at a county fair. What are you're going to the county fair. What are the things you are going, do you have the list of like, I am eating this no matter what?
I have things that I'm excited for, but like, I don't necessarily achieve all that stuff. Like I went in yesterday thinking that I was either going to have funnel cake or a turkey leg. I had neither of those.
Sure.
Because I do like to explore. Like Roger Corney knows this about me. Every other week I have a new obsession when it comes to like a new fast food place or like a different restaurant I want to go to.
That breakfast sandwich place, right?
You're like,
the breakfast it's always so big, right? You'll start to have half of them. And
now it's Wendy's, I'm eating Wendy's breakfast every single day.
Yeah.
But I like to explore. And so, like I didn't have either the turkey leg or the funnel cake.
Yeah.
I've historically been a rides person. I like roller coasters. Yesterday, I don't know if it's turning 29. I don't know if it's my age. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I did about 3 rides and I was done.
Yeah.
I could not do any more.
Were you car sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially from the first ride. So the first ride was this.
Do you think it had something to do with the deep fried cheese stick cake on a stick?
No, because I had that toward the end of it.
Oh, that settled your tummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the first ride I did was this gravity, like spinny machine.
Gravitron?
I think it's the Gravitron.
Where you get pressed up against the wall.
Yes, and it spins in a circle. And that was my first time ever doing that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was cool, but by the time I got off of it, I felt so sick.
Sure.
Like my stomach was going in circles. And then right after that, I think the next thing we did was like this water ride. That was fun, but also like I got way more wet than I wanted to. And so like that was at the fair, so that wasn't pleasant. Yeah. And then the next thing we did was another like spinny ride where like you're just going in circles on like this bumpy kind of like this path. And it sucked. And after that, I was done. I was like, this isn't fun for me. I'm just going to hang out. And I did the games. We did basketball. And it was the scam basketball.
Of course.
That you're never going to make. And I really
want to get there's a TikTok that I started following, and it's in the algorithm now that shows you how to win the carnival games.
Yeah, right.
Like you just toss the ball in the bucket, but he's putting a spin on it, like so that it gets there and like takes out the momentum when it gets
like
in the bucket.
Codes. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. What about you? What's your go-to for the county fair?
I feel sometimes I'll experiment. Last year when we went, which was the first annual, the inaugural outing of the Millers plus Lucy plus Ben going up to the Marin County Fair. We did it all. We got there. We got turkey legs. We got the corn. We got something, I forget what, some kind of crazy fries, maybe lobster fries or some things like that. Like whatever. I'm getting the fried pickles. I'm doing the whole
When you say corn, was it like elote? Or is it just like regular corn?
Just regular corn. Okay. Just, sweet corn
I love
with the butter.
Elote.
Elote is great. I'm not talking shit about elote.
Of course.
But like this one was a surgical strike where we went in the opening, which meant Ben's window was much shorter for what we had to do, how much time we had. So we got there, and of course I got the lemonade because I was feeling some fair lemonade. But then food-wise, always going to do a corn dog. And then I feel like I'm always going to do some corn. And it was that Ben had his corn, so I got to eat some of his corn. So I felt like I was satisfied there.
Yeah.
If I would have gone deeper, it would have been the fried pickles. And then, of course, this came up recently on the KindaFunny podcast, and Andy shouted out the dill pickle pizza. Of course, Andy showing his naivete for an American county fair versus when we went to Toronto up in Canada, and went to their national fair, which had a whole bunch of crazy foods like the dill pickle pizza, which I would put at the top of the list, but that is a Canadian thing. To the best of my abilities. I'm sure here in America there is some fair you're at in the middle of fucking nowhere, Idaho, that I'm not going to get it, but...
Dill pickle pizza. I don't know how I feel about that. Sounds like a step too far. Now, when you're drinking that much lemonade, are you not like... I feel like that would dehydrate me.
Now, here's the thing, though. Remember... Well, dehydrate.
Or not dehydrate, but like... I feel
overhydrate,
like
you peeing.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like it's a lot of sugar.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know, I'm constantly in need of energy. So the sugar would be great.
Okay,
a lot of people call me low energy Greg. They say that Greg Miller can't bring it anymore, so he has to dope with a Coke. Exactly, I'm washed, says Barrett from over. What are you eating? Pop-Tart, nice. Okay. But no, the sugar wasn't a problem. No, it was good. And then I was sweating so much, you know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, you gotta have something to drink. That is a lot of water.
It's the entire.
How long did that last you?
Oh no, I mean, it came home.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we brought lemonade home. All right, I had lemonade for days. No, this is the entire pitcher of water from our fridge, and then even more. That's how much water's in this guy.
Now, can I tell you what I did yesterday? That was really fun. Right. Speaking of exploring at this fair, I went
exploring at the fair,
and I did horse betting for the first time ever.
Like
horse racing. Like
yeah. But like real horses or like
real horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the fair?
Yeah.
They had horse racing at the fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It was really cool. Like I did not know there was so much at this fair just kept going.
Yeah.
They had like a petting zoo that then there were like multiple where there was like a petting zoo where it was like a lot of small animals and pigeons and rabbits and stuff. There was apparently another side where there was even more animals. And
did you see my burn of Andy with this?
No.
Okay, keep going. I'll get it and I'll show it. Or Bear, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to find it?
My friend Ernesto posted a picture because we left before Ernesto, our friends Ernesto and Sarah. Ernesto posted an Instagram story of some little pigs doing races.
Yep.
Hopping over obstacles.
Yep.
That shit blew my mind. I was like, if I knew that was there, I would have stayed. I was really tired. I would have stayed for the potbelly pigs jumping over obstacles because that's incredible.
Scrolling back because we went to the fair. I feel like it's such a total and complete mindfuck of when anything happened. Because I'm like, oh, I went to the fair last weekend, but it's like, no, you went to the fair like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it feels like because the weekend's not. But Aaron, I'm sending to Control if I can find it. There it is. Control. I'm sending you this link. And I'd like to. Yeah, we need the audio for it, of course. Because, there was pig racing at the Marin County Fair. Oh,
Is this a California thing or is this just a fair? Because I didn't know horse.
When I was growing up and we would go to Illinois County Fairs, I don't remember the pig racing.
Yeah.
I remember like the 4-H club and the chickens and like but I don't remember the petting zoos either or whatever. Here we go.
To the county fair today. Excited for some pig racing. When's your race, Andy?
Fucking swine. Got him. Fucking got him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Got his ass. But no, the horse racing was really fun. It was actual horse races, and so I went in. I put a bet. I based my bet off of the best.
I got so many questions about
what's up.
So you placed your bet. Did they have like betting windows? And was it the whole thing of like to place, to show, to do all that, or was it just like who do you think is gonna win? Is this like carny betting? I don't know.
I think the way I think they had like places, windows, and all that stuff. But the way I gave my bet, I think I gave it just for the win because I didn't specify that.
Sure,
much.
fair enough.
I said I won my bet at Pleasanton because that's where I was. Pleasanton for race number 7 because that was the upcoming race, and then I gave him the name of the horse, and the name of the horse I bet on was Our Bold Prince, and that was my favorite name out of the bunch that were in the race that I was looking at.
I like that. That's a really good name.
I did that. Hung out on the track, was really fun. The vibes were great. There was the guy with the trumpet that plays the song that you all know from the horse races. And like having never been to a horse race, did not know that was like a standardized thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They're playing that trumpet song at every single horse race.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
And the trumpet thing was really long. Like I'd never seen that instrument before in my life. It was like a vuvuzela, but it was a trumpet.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah.
And the horse race was really excited. People were really hyped.
Sure, money's on the line, man.
Yeah.
This is why gambling's so great. You know what I mean? We're gambling on PS I Love You today. This is what it's all about.
We're doing bets. And I've never been somebody for gambling. Even when I've gone to Vegas, I've tried it, not for me. Horse betting, oh man, that's for me. That was a really fun time. Yeah,
this is how we lose blessings.
I really enjoyed the horse betting.
Yeah.
My horse almost won. Like it got really close, and then at the last second got overtaken by some son of a bitch horse.
Did it come in like second or third?
My horse came in second, yeah.
So you couldn't like show, you would have won some.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I messed up, but I almost got some. I almost won some money. But hey, that's not what the show's about. this show's about video game news, Greg. So let's talk about Microsoft anticipating a PS5 Slim this year, Banjo Kazooie devs shutting down our dreams for a new game, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use every creator code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to write in with your questions, squad ups, and more. And remember, patreon.com/KindaFunny will get you the show ad-free plus a bevy of bonus content. Housekeeping for you. A new Kinda Funny podcast is up titled Should You Eat Shrimp in the Daytime? Greg, I heard you hyping this one up.
Not even hyping. Well, you saw me hype it up probably on Twitter, where I was like, listen, people are always saying I'm a new Kinda Funny best friend, or where would you tell somebody to start Kinda Funny content, or what's a must listen to or watch. This is one of those. All four of us are on point. Barrett's on point. Everyone is just crushing it. Everyone's gaming it. We're all just friends hanging out and having a great time. And there are so many, hilarious bits on it. To the point that, when I came in today, I wasn't hyping up. I was just telling Nick, we didn't fucking miss. I went back and showed Jen parts of the podcast, which I never do. And I was like, anytime I jump to anything, we're in the middle of something hilarious and
awesome.
Fun. But I will.
I'm just noticing the set too, with the eagle.
It was
flag,
we
the fuck you England.
It was our fourth July episode. We had to call out England for losing us, of course.
Of course.
But my question for you is: do you think shrimp is a nighttime food or a daytime food, or can it be both?
I think it's both.
Thank you very much.
Why would it just be a nighttime food?
Because
Nick was one.
I said, Jen, before the wedding, Jen and I at lunch had some shrimp, and Nick was like, "What? Shrimp?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, shrimp is in fancy dishes, and fancy foods are for nighttime." That was his argument.
You know what? I kind of understand the argument. What were you eating shrimp with?
It was like a shrimp cocktail. Because we were doing a grazing thing where it's we didn't want a big meal, so we had a bunch of veggies and hummus and some the pita bread, and then we had some shrimp cocktail there and a little.
I think it's way more common that you're having shrimp in the nighttime than the daytime for sure.
But then I also offered, what about I hear you, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but what about seafood restaurants? Yesterday, I went to after this is actually inspired by the podcast because I had it on my mind. We went to Sam's Anchor Cafe over in Tiburon, which is famous for their lobster roll, right? And I was like, well, what about a shrimp roll? I was out there having a beer, sun, I'm on the water, you know what I mean? And
that's acceptable. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Of course, you can find that episode of the Kinda Funny podcast over on youtube.com/KindaFunny and on podcast services around the globe. And then remember, this is truly the last call for our merch on the RT store. So buy one, get one free with the code BONGOS, that is BONGOS, through the end of the week. You can do that on kindafunny.com/old store. Of course, that is our old store. So kindafunny.com/old store. If you want to see our new store, just go to kindafunny.com/store. Check out what's there.
I appreciate that someone cut out probably Joey, sing closing time. Because I was ready. I was ready to go into it.
That out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have. I would have. You would have lost the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 13 minutes into the show. I don't know if you have time for another whole rendition of that song, but I appreciate that.
Also, if you want to check out the new store, you go to kindafunny.com/store. Guess what?
What's that?
Drop coming soon.
Ooh,
so that's the thing. You missed your shot at the summer collection, but you can enter your email there and get it. How soon? I don't know. Soon. I know it's soon.
And then speaking of giving us money, over on Patreon, there's a new episode of Kinda Foodie up right now, and it's the return of Kinda Foodie. Well, many would say is the best episode of Kinda Foodie.
I wonder who wins.
Far.
I wonder who is
Tune in to see if Greg can keep his championship,
or if Roger finally wins.
Or if Roger finally wins one. Of course, he's still winless over on Kinda Foodie.
If Roger wins one, we smash the trophy. All right, we start a new one.
Fair enough. Thank you to our Patreon producer, Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A big case does it.
Starting with our number one, Greg, can you still believe that more news is coming out of the Microsoft FTC trial?
I guess.
Sony is expected to release a PlayStation 5 Slim later this year, Microsoft says. This is from Wesley Yinpool at IGN. Microsoft believes Sony will release a PlayStation 5 Slim later this year, priced at $399.99, according to a court document. In the paragraph on price, Microsoft attempts to convince Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley the Nintendo Switch should be considered in the same market as the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5, an argument it believes boosts the image of Xbox as losing the console war in third place. It's the final sentence in this paragraph that sure is to ruffle Sony boss Jim Ryan's feathers, as it not only outs the long-rumored existence of the PlayStation 5 Slim, but its price too. Quote, PlayStation likewise sells a less expensive digital edition for $399.99 and is expected to release a PlayStation 5 Slim later this year at the same reduced price point, reads the document. The bombshells continue with Microsoft saying further down, quote, Sony is also anticipated to release a handheld version of the PS5 later this year for under $300. This is in relation to Sony's announced Project Q, a handheld streaming device that wirelessly connects to the PS5. Sony has yet to announce a release date or price. Greg, what do you think are the chances we get a PS5 Slim later this year?
I mean, never say never. But this is one of those, this is very much, and I'm not talking shit about anything or anybody, right? But it is very much of when industry analyst says he thinks this is going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, yeah. Barrett, if you're an audio listener, Barrett's showing the PlayStation 5 taller but slimmer, making
like,
it more
just
ridiculous.
imagine in your head the console version of Long Mario. That's what we have here.
It's like if you're usually getting like a McDouble from McDonald's and then you one day order just a regular cheeseburger, you see how skinny that thing looks. That's what this looks like.
It's the thing where, so like anybody can predict anything. We predict stuff all the time, and we're right or we're wrong, and everybody forgets either way because it doesn't matter. Everybody knows we're just talking and making educated guesses. These are educated guesses. Mm-hmm. And so for the bombshells continue, no, full stop. The bombshell would be an email from Jim Ryan gets pulled into evidence, and it says, and we're releasing a PlayStation 5 Slim later this year. That would be the bombshell of the confirmation from Sony that this is happening. Mm-hmm. Microsoft sitting here and saying, well, they're doing this or that. It's like, again, as we talked about at length with this trial, right? It is everybody saying anything to possibly screw this up and make their case win, make their side of the case the winner.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what this is. And even like I remember when this originally broke, the Project Q thing getting pulled out of people were like, Microsoft saying it's going to be under $300, and it's like, well, that's them.
Under $300.
That's an educated guess as well. Yeah. I would say it's going to be under $300
exactly,
too, right?
Like, under $300 could mean $100, could mean $200.
Yeah,
right? Like that's a wide window to work with.
And so again, like you throw darts at the board, you do whatever you think. Like, yes, PlayStation is going to release a redesigned PlayStation 5 at some point. Mm-hmm. Of course, we keep talking about the rumors from Tom Henderson, right? Of like, hey, it's going to have the detachable disc drive, right? We're going to have this PlayStation version that PlayStation 5 comes out that has detachable disc drive, so it can be cheaper and yada yada yada. Is that the Slim? Is it not the Slim? Is that what they're talking about? Mm-hmm. Are they saying they're using, mixing their words up here and terminology just to make their case or whatever? Who knows? Yes, there is going to be a PlayStation 5 Slim at some point. I can't wait for it, as I just said, as somebody who dragged his PlayStation 5 to Napa on vacation, where it's like, man, didn't think about how big this was. And back in the day when I traveled with my PS4, it was so easy to slip into my carry-on. This one sucks. Yes, it's going to happen. And then to get to, is it going to happen this year? I highly doubt it. Now, that's me. That's just me talking. I don't know. I don't anything. Why do I highly doubt it? I feel like every time there's a redesigned PlayStation, the leaks start coming way sooner. Now, again, the error in my argument is the fact that, what about this detachable disc drive? We've heard about this thing for, it feels like forever, probably only a year, right, that we've heard these rumors from Insider Gaming, right?
Insider Gaming,
yeah. There's just so many Inside Gaming, Inside Games, Insider Gaming. I don't even know which one Lawrence is on. There's a whole bunch going on.
That is Inside Games. I think. No,
is it really?
No,
is it really?
Insider Games.
Anyways,
Inside the Games.
Inside Gaming?
Insider.
Insider Gaming.
Okay.
Tom Henderson is Insider Gaming.
Insider Gaming has been talking about this. Inside the Gamer has been talking about this one for so long that like that could be real. That could be the thing. It's just, is it? Like I don't. It's been such a weird console cycle in the way that, of course, we launched it during a pandemic. We launched it during a chip shortage. It seems like it's just really, in recent memory, calmed down, even though I still haven't seen a PlayStation 5 just on a shelf anywhere. But again, I'm in San Francisco, and again, I'm not really, when I walk by the Target electronics aisle, I'm usually going to toys, so I'm not really like peeking my head in there. It's going to happen. When is it going to happen? I don't know. I don't think it's here, but I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem like there's been enough leaks about it. You know, what I jumped to was, as never being the date person, right? What about the PlayStation 4 Pro?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The PlayStation 4 Pro announced September 7th, 2016, released on November 10th. So that's, I mean, I'd love to sit here and be like, oh, well, it's too late in the year to announce a PlayStation 5 Slim. Clearly isn't. Now, the question does become, is it too close to Project Q to announce, hey, we're lowering the price of the PS5 and we're putting out this Project Q, and so then suddenly they're competing with themselves a little bit for what people want to spend their money on?
Yeah.
I think they use both to kind of market the other. You know?
And that's where I'm at with it, is I think it feels like the PS5 just came out, but PS5 came out at the end of 2020, right? We're in 2023. We're kind of getting there into the console generation. By next year, we're probably talking about being halfway through this console generation, right? We're talking about being about 3 to 4 years in. And so, yeah, I think now is where you start to refresh your console slate and look at, all right, what is this next phase? What does the second half of the PS5 look like? And for the rumors that have been swirling around about the detachable disc drive and all this stuff, I could see the case for this fall being, let's phase in Project Q, right? Let's phase in a PS5 Slim. Let's phase out the big bulky PS5. Let's phase in the detachable disc drive in case people want to be able to play discs on their console. And then 2024, you're then talking about a PlayStation 5 Pro. I could see that start to formulate as a strategy. One thing is that too much, right? Like, is that going to muddy the message if you have all this hardware stuff coming out? You know, I think maybe if you spread out a PS5 Slim and a PS5 Pro, maybe you're fine. But then also,
if what we're talking about is true and in all of it's accurate, the detachable disc drive PS5 has to be the PS5 Slim. So that's just one thing.
Yeah.
Then it's the Q. And I think what you would do is, like, we have the Slim PS5. It's smaller. It's a better form factor. It's this, that, the other. And then be like, there is a disc drive if you want. I don't think that would be a big part of the push. I think all the product images you would see would be without the disc drive.
The thing that I'm trying to visualize is when you go to a store, let's say around this time 2 years from now for a PS5, what are you looking at, right? And I think if a PS5 Slim is coming in to, let's say, replace the discless PS5, that comes in at $400. Then yeah, you have that, and then like a detachable disc drive to go along with it. I think you then phase out the 2 models we have out currently, and then eventually phase in the PS5 Pro, which could take place of the more expensive PS5. Maybe that even comes in at $600 because you're going to tout how this thing can do like 16K visuals or whatever the fuck, 120p. I don't know. Like, I think that starts to become the conversation of, let's phase out what we have now so we can phase in these newer refined versions of the PS5. And I think that starts to make sense. I look here at Tom Henderson, who's been the main source of a lot of these leaks and rumors.
Yeah.
And he tweeted out January 23rd of this year on all the PlayStation 5 Pro/Slim rumors. I don't think it's a Pro or Slim. My understanding is that it's just Gen 2 of the regular PS5. Yeah. The normal PS5 will cease production at the end of this year, and the new model will start in April and begin selling in September. Sony wouldn't cease production of the Gen 1 PS5 if they had different consoles in production for different price points/specs. The new PS5 will reduce costs in production and shipping because they can produce just one console with a detachable disc drive. And so maybe it is just a look at, maybe it is not a Slim and a Pro. Maybe it is, hey, this is Gen 2 of the PS5.
Which I have to imagine would be slimmer.
Exactly. It could be slimmer, maybe more powerful. Maybe it does have a bit more capability there. And it is just digital. And if you really want to play physical stuff, boom, you got a detachable disc drive to play on it.
See, I think it's just going to be a form factor. Because I'm on the Insider Gaming article from Tom, like you're talking about, this the September 2022 one, right? Where he's talking about it for the first time. And he's talking about it's going to have almost identical hardware as the existing consoles already on the market. Granted, things change and you're getting this all rumored, yada, yada, yada. Anything could, whatever. And then a new detachable disc drive could entail that it could entail that the PlayStation 5 will be slimmer and lighter, which is something Sony's been trying to implement effectively with the latest PS5 models. But yeah, it goes on to be like that. And I think that's the idea, right? Is like, bring the price down, bring the size down, and if you do that by cutting the disc drive. But yeah, I don't think this is a Pro. I don't think this changes anything in terms of the tech, because of course, wait a couple more years, put that one out.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, do you wait long? If you wait long enough, is there even a point anymore of putting out like a more powerful version? Because like I'm looking at next year as the halfway point, right? Like I imagine we'll get, and this isn't me working off the rumors that we got from the court case. This is me doing the math of like, a console cycle is 7 years, right? Maybe 8 years. Yeah. And if that's the case, 2028 we're looking at for a PS6 and the next Xbox. And so you're not going to put out a PS5 Pro in 2026, right? Like, and so I look at this and I I more so align myself not with how the email frames it as being out later this year. I do go with Tom's assumption of, or Tom's leaks of next year, right? Fall 2024 for what we're talking about for a slimmer PS5 or a new model of PS5. And like, I think that then does it for the rest of the generation for PS5 hardware.
See, my thought there would be that this has been a slower transition. And again, this is me talking out of my ass. You're all welcome to write into You're Wrong with better examples or whatever. It feels like this has been a slower transition to getting everybody on the current generation in terms of like, we are making a game that is just for this generation, right? And I'm looking back at Sony's first party lineup as well, right? In terms of like what games they like Horizon that they've done it, but then Horizon DLC, of course, isn't for both generations. And I feel like if you're going to put out a PS5 Pro I don't feel like people are getting all the juice out of both the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X yet. And so I feel like you'd get closer and closer to that. You get to a PlayStation 5 Pro that is able to do a few more bells and whistles because you're just competing with PC at this point, right? Trying to get the experience people are getting over there on your console. And I think that elongates the cycle because, again, the shortages didn't let you sell enough. And again, they are selling incredibly well.
But would that just be the PlayStation 6 that you did that with then? Like, I think we're getting into, like, how do you phrase it on the box or whatever? And if it is, I think if it, let's say next year you're doing a thing that's not more powerful, it is just a, better form factor PS5. If we get a few years past that and it is, all right, we've gotten the power out that we've needed to out of this thing, and you are going to put out something marginally better, I feel like you slap a 6 on it, and then like whatever the other features are, it sells better too, right? And you can market it better. I think that's how you go about it.
That's true. That's fair. That's a really good point.
So no Slim this year is what you're thinking?
No, I don't think so. I just feel like it's, again, I feel like we would have heard something. I feel like it clutters the message with the remote play device, even though, yes, you could bundle them together and be like, or not even literally, literally bundle them together, but then bundle the announcements together. But again, I think people look at it like, oh, I'll just buy the smaller PS5 or, oh, I haven't bought a PS5. I don't care much about this. I think you let that go. And yeah, it just doesn't feel right yet in terms of doing it.
I'll tell you my bet. On PS I Love You XOXO recording later today. Coming out later this week.
Yeah, it'll be out on normal on Friday, but we're, screwed up week.
Story number 2. Banjo Kazooie devs are unsure the audience is there for a new game. This comes from Andy Robinson at
Let me just answer the question. No, it's not there.
Really?
Don't worry about it.
Let's read the articles. I think
Shut up
a good
about Banjo Kazooie.
Key members of the original Banjo Kazooie team have said they're doubtful of a new entry in the beloved 3D platformer franchise will release in the near future. While dormant for some years following its last original game in 2008, the Banjo Kazooie franchise has become more prominent lately. Last year, the N64 original was added to Nintendo Switch Online, and before that, Banjo and Kazooie were added as playable characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In 2020, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said that any revivals of classic Rare franchises were up to Rare itself. However, speaking to VGC, as part of an extended interview to mark Banjo Kazooie's 25th anniversary, a group of original Rare team members have said they're not expecting a new game anytime soon. And despite a $3 million Kickstarter and over 1 million copies sold for their spiritual successor, Playtonic Games Yooka-Laylee, composer Grant Kirkhope questioned whether the audience was truly there for a new game. Quote, I feel like you'd have to get a team with the humor that we had back then, and that's hard to replicate, he said. I think Rare would be open to somebody if they found the right team, but I don't feel like that team exists. Also, I'm not convinced that the audience is there either. I don't feel like there are that many Banjo fans out there. The whole Smash Brothers thing was spectacular. It really was. I think all the team that worked on that game had a tear in their eye when Banjo turned up in Smash Brothers. It was just an unbelievable release of emotion. Seeing all those fans crying on videos was heartwarming, and we felt it. This was a once-in-a-lifetime event that when that happened. But I still feel like is there that multi-million-dollar thing within Banjo Kazooie? I'm not convinced there is. End quote. And then lead programmer Chris Sutherland echoed Kirkhope's sentiment, quote, for a long time, there was doubt whether there was any audience for that kind of game. Of course, there's some audience, but is there enough to justify the kind of scale of a game you would need now for a first-party title, he said. And then character designer Steve Mails argued that the best way to revive the Banjo-Kazooie series would be via a modern remaster, so that rights holder Microsoft could keep down the costs and gauge interest from players. So, Greg, you don't think Banjo-Kazooie is going to hit if it comes out?
No, not big enough. Is what they'd want. I think everything they're saying here is the correct answer. Is there that multi-million-dollar thing within Banjo-Kazooie? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. And that's not to say there aren't Banjo fans. I see all 12 of you in the chat yelling at me. Like,
how dare you? How dare you?
I gotta swing even when I'm being nice. No, I think that there are Banjo fans there. I think there is a nostalgia for those things, but it is that idea of just like, does that move the needle for a modern audience, for a new audience? Does it make sense to Xbox to make a first-party one, to dedicate one of their teams here? Like, there's a bunch of different ways to do it and make it smaller. I personally, if I was the rights holder to Banjo Kazooie and it was like, we need to do another Banjo Kazooie, I would look at any of the, I mean, you throw a rock and how many amazing independent studios do you find that are making, you know, these kind of games, these kind of platformers, right? And then go to them and be like, all right, cool. A Hat in Time developer. Everybody loved A Hat in Time. What would you want to do with Banjo Kazooie? Go to some of the other games that are inspired by it. Talk to those.
I mean, even the ukulele folks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just like, those games aren't breaking through. Those games aren't breaking through because of IP. And then is this the IP to do it? Because even I just feel like Banjo is a game people love, yes. And I think the inclusion of Smash was such a brilliant move, obviously, because people wanted that so bad. And Smash is all about nostalgia. But I don't know if there's a modern hunger for it for a mass scale.
See, I think it's worth testing because, to your point, I tend to agree about the multi-million-dollar thing, right? Like, if you put out a Banjo today, it is not selling 10. It's so funny to see you drink out of this lemon thing. It's not selling 10 million copies, right?
Like a big mosquito.
Like, how many? You do look like a mosquito. How many copies of
That's
Banjo?
the game they should bring back, Mr. Mosquito. Where's that one,
God, no. How many copies of Banjo Kazooie are you selling? Now, the question then becomes, how many do you need to sell when Game Pass exists? And that's your whole strategy as Microsoft,
Great point.
right? Like, do you need to sell 5 million copies of Banjo, or can you have 5 million players come in and play it on Game Pass and help fill out that catalog, which I think is a bit more about consistency and consistency of quality, as opposed to having these big hitters that are able to, you know, get 20 million people in or 25 million people in, right? I think you need 1 or 2 of those a year, but then I also think you need enough stuff there to fill out the catalog, so you have reason to stay subscribed and not let your subscription lapse.
Sure.
I think there's something there.
But that's back to me. I think even my argument. Oh, cool. Let's make smaller games. Let's make smaller Banjo Kazooies, right? Yeah.
But I also think that I think there's a way to get Banjo Kazooie there, and I think that does start with the remake. I think if you do what Crash Insane Trilogy did with Crash, and you remake Banjo, make it look modern, bring the energy up to where it feels like a 2023 game, and put it back out there, I think you see it sell, maybe not as much as Crash did, right? Because Crash is Crash, but Banjo is still Banjo. I do think that there's sauce there when you're talking about how much people love Banjo. Like, Banjo, I would say, is when you're talking about like the tiers of like popularity of 3D platformers in general, right? Like at the top, you're talking about Mario, right? Maybe Sonic even. Under that, you're talking about, I'd say, Crash. And like right under Crash, I think you're talking about Banjo. I don't think Banjo is that far off from Crash. And Crash Insane Trilogy sold insanely well. Like it had, I remember listening to KHD, and so many of the stories were talking about how consistently Insane Trilogy was in that top 10 spot for the month in NPD.
For sure.
I think you can maybe replicate something there with Banjo, especially if you put it on Nintendo Switch, right? Especially if you put it on multiple platforms. I think that starts to get the interest up, and I think that then might set the table for you to put out an original Banjo game and have it come from a Playtonic or the Hat in Time dev or Double Fine or whoever you can find to actually make a really good Banjo game. I think there's something.
A Double Fine Banjo Kazooie could be
would be super dope. Would they want to do it is the question.
Well, that's the thing is, I don't think it would at all be, you know, the Banjo people want or are expecting, but that would make me excited.
Yeah. I also think there's something there with the Smash thing as well. You know, I think Smash has this power to get people passionate and excited about a franchise. Like it's done that through its history. It brought Fire Emblem to the West, right? Exposed so many people to Fire Emblem. Exposed so many people to things like Earthbound and even F-Zero, right? Like, of course, those are popular on the Super Nintendo before, but yeah. I know so many people that are like me that might have came up with an N64 that know NES from Smash and then retroactively went back and played Earthbound or went back and played F-Zero. I think Smash might even have that effect with something like Banjo Kazooie, where you put a Banjo on Switch and you have people going crazy for it because their excitement for that franchise is up now with Smash.
This is I'm on Polygon somewhere. But anyways, in an interview with IGN's Ryan McCaffrey as part of Podcast Unlocked, while discussing developing titles within Microsoft's portfolio, Schaefer commented, quote, "It's an interesting thing to think about, but I think that would be a bad use of Double Fine. Our whole thing is making stuff up," end quote.
That's fair. It's very fair. Speaking of things coming back, story number 3, F-Zero is no longer relevant because of Mario Kart, says former dev.
I love it. All the old devs are just like, yo, shut up.
Y'all don't
Let
like
your
this shit
nostalgia
anyway.
die.
This is from Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. A former F-Zero developer believes Nintendo's long-dormant racing franchise has remained that way due to the success of Mario Kart. Speaking to VGC, F-Zero artist and the designer behind Captain Falcon, Takaya Imamura, implied that the game wouldn't be worth the risk when Mario Kart is already incredibly successful, having sold nearly 50 million copies for Nintendo Switch as of November 2022. Imamura was asked why Nintendo games such as Star Fox get more attention than F-Zero. I think it's because Mario Kart is Nintendo's most popular racing game, and a new F-Zero would cost a fortune, he said. My impression is that Nintendo executive Shigeru Miyamoto is very affectionate about Star Fox. The original F-Zero launched way back in 1990 and was followed up with a handful of games, the final one being F-Zero Climax in 2004. That marks almost 2 decades since fans last saw a new entry. Despite Nintendo showing love to other older franchises with remakes like Super Mario RPG or sequels such as Luigi's Mansion 3. Nintendo hasn't completely forgotten about F-Zero, of course, ironically making Mario Kart 8 DLC based on the classic racer, and last year released N64 game F-Zero X on the Nintendo Switch online library. This is one I agree with.
Like, I got no attachment to this one, so yeah, fuck this one.
So yeah, fuck F-Zero. You know what? I got time for that.
I think Banjo's on the same level, I'm going to be honest.
No, absolutely not.
Banjo's nowhere near Crash, I'm going to be honest.
Banjo's way more popular than F-Zero, though. And Banjo, I would say Banjo's near Crash.
And it's not near Crash.
No,
it's near Crash.
It's really not.
But it's way better. We can all agree it's way more popular than F-Zero.
Like, nuts and
like
bolts was
5 people won an F-Zero.
Okay.
You're gonna look at me. You're gonna tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not.
I think
You're on the
12
money.
people want a Banjo, and one of them's Paris, and the other one's you. So,
Listen, bring back Banjo. It's a lovely franchise. It's an incredible franchise. Great video games.
What if they bring
All
it
2
back
of
in like
them.
a Toys to Life
Don't
way?
say that. Don't say that. What if they brought back Banjo, but then took inspiration
They
from...
didn't take back Kazooie.
They brought back Kazooie, but they took inspiration from Tears of the Kingdom, and now you can build things.
They did that.
that's nuts and bolts.
Yeah, that game did. And that game
What's
did
that?
what it did.
I never heard of that.
It's a game that came out that kind
Yeah.
of killed the franchise or any momentum it had
Nuts
for
and
it.
bolts?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's on Xbox, yeah.
There was a Banjo on Xbox.
Yeah.
I thought those were Nintendo 64 games.
No. Yeah, they did a whole thing, and people were super excited, and they played it like, I'm not
No
excited
way.
about this.
They made Banjo fat for a gag.
No way.
Yeah.
For a laugh,
Huh.
a lark.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, while I ponder about this, right? Let's talk about patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. Over on patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, you can get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsor.
Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break a pair, even on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. Shady Rays Independence Day sale is live right now. You can go to shadyrays.com and get up to 50% off single pairs of sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com. shadyrays.com.
And we're back with story number 4. Rise of the Ronin leak suggests a Q1 2024 launch and more. This is from Liam Croft at Push Square. Details and screenshots have leaked for PS5 console exclusive Rise of the Ronin via a Discord server run by the former insider, The Snitch.
Snitch. What a name.
The images feature a look at the map, a quest description, and what looks like symbols for a skill tree. The game from Team Ninja is then described as a mix of Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, and Dark Souls. It's then claimed item descriptions link into the lore, fueling the wider world, a la every FromSoft games since Demon's Souls. But the design of a side quest is a lot more like the Ubisoft formula. You'll be able to pick between various difficulty options. There will be a skill and technique tree, and you'll be able to choose between quality and performance mode to fine-tune the experience. Romance options will also be a thing, and the game is planned for release in Q1 of next year. This is one that I'll say, take with a grain of salt. This is coming from a leak that's coming from screenshots that are coming from a Discord server and The Snitch. And so,
The Snitch.
Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But also, Greg, is this one that you're looking forward to?
Yeah. We talked about this, right, from the debut at State of Play.
Yeah.
September, right? Yeah. That this looked dope. I'm down for more games in this genre, in this space. Again, it's always been, we loved Ghost. You love the Assassin's Creed games. We love the stuff. We love the fact that Assassin's Creed is finally doing one. I always forget the code name for it.
Red?
Red, right. Yeah. I always I was like, is it Jade? Is it Red? Is it Hexy, whatever the hell it is? This looked dope. You know what I mean? I hope it lands. I hope it's great. I think it's a great idea for a game. And I'm stoked to know more about it. Yeah. So I'm down for the leak and the snitch and everybody else on Discord to come through and do it.
Yeah. I mean, 2024 is already the window that they've set for the game. And so it being Q1, I think makes sense. Long Fallen Dynasty came out earlier this year. And so if their cadence is, we're going to hit that first quarter, the first 2 quarters of every year. So far, they've been nailing that, right? Like Stranger Paradise is also last year in the first half of the year. And so that might just be Team Ninja's cadence. And yeah, I'm excited to see them do something different.
That's the biggest thing, right? Yeah, do something different.
I know a lot of people love Neo. I enjoyed Stranger Paradise for what it was, and I also enjoyed Long Fallen Dynasty for what it was. But this being a game that is more akin to an open world Assassin's Creed game,
that's awesome,
right? And like seeing the screen we're looking at right here, where the dude jumps off and the wings open, he's flying around. That combined with,
of course, the combat you love.
Yeah, like it combined with the stylings of a Ghost of Tsushima, and this combat that looks dope. That is, looks like it's taking from what they've already done with games like Wolong and Neo and stuff. I think this has a chance of being a hit, right? I think it just needs to come out and give us the stuff. I think it needs to have the stuff. But I think all of what they're setting up is going to speak to a wider audience. Like it sounds like a Greg Miller is going to be into this because of the fact that it is doing more in this open world.
Right. It's not just the Tecmo Koei action or Team Ninja action, right? Yes. Where you'd expect, where it's just, all right, cool, it's an action game. Like I want a cool story. I want cool quests. I want a cool world to explore. If it's going to be that open world, right, or as they call it, a mix of Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, and Dark Souls. I like all 3 of those things for different reasons, right? My thing about Dark Souls and Souls games in general, right, are the fact that I usually don't like the world. I just don't want to spend my time in that world. That's the world I want to spend my time in. 100%. It's not the combat or the challenge of it that gets me. It's the fact that I don't want to be in this wet world.
You know, like how wet the world
squelching.
Is? Oh man, I love how wet those worlds are. Story number 5. Xbox and Bethesda are attending Gamescom 2023. This comes from a tweet from @Gamescom, where they tweet out, breaking news, @Xbox and @Bethesda will join us on the show floor for #Gamescom 2023. More details soon. Greg, what could Xbox and Bethesda have to show in August?
Well, Starfield to begin with. Let's get people hyped for that. Again, this is a show floor thing, right? So it'll be interesting what they have hands-on for people who are there. Obviously, Gamescom is such a big consumer show. What will you actually allow people to play? Will there be Starfield booths there to play? Which sounds crazy. Like, cool. There's going
to be some kind of activation.
An activation for sure. Yeah. But what do you actually have people playing? Of course, Gamescom for us gets exciting for opening night live. What's Jeff got up his sleeve this time? What's he got there? He's working with them again. What announcements will they have as our final, the end, the final bow for Summer Game Fest. But I wouldn't expect much from the booth to be that exciting. But it's cool that they're there.
I mean, I would expect only 2 things. I would expect Starfield and then Forza Motorsport. Because
I would expect a lot of Forza there.
Yeah,
Forza.
Because you're talking about Gamescom is in Germany.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
They like cars over there. They like driving. So yeah, I would expect those 2 things. And for Starfield, who knows if it'll be playable? I think the dopest thing would be for it to be playable, but then also I think the tough thing with a game like Starfield is does 30 minutes of Starfield gameplay do enough for people, right? Like, is that going to are you getting the Starfield experience in 30 minutes? Do they have to find the vertical slice in that game that is, all right, you're shooting?
That's why I think you saying activation makes more sense.
Yeah.
You have all these demo stations for Forza, and then you have some photo op that's a Starfield spaceship or some shit like that.
That'd be really cool.
I'll
explore a spaceship.
Yeah.
And build your own spaceship.
Okay.
And then
you
fly it around Germany?
You're flying around Germany?
They went to space. They went to the moon, right? That's the thing they did.
I don't think they did they?
All right, cool.
Oh, yeah. Who all's been to the moon?
Who all's been to the moon? Nobody.
Oh God! Oh God! Where have you seen the crosshairs?
Let's be fucking real. Story number 6, our final news story. Venba has gone gold.
Yay!
This comes from @VenbaGame on Twitter. Venba has officially gone gold on all platforms. We're all set to release on July 31st on PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, PS5 at the same time. It's Venba release month. Greg, you're excited for Venba.
Can't wait. Yeah, of course, they came through for the GDC stream. We had it on there. We saw this demo. Of course, I love cooking, and I love being emotionally devastated, and that seems like both of these things will happen in this game. Of course, full disclosure, it's one of the Pop Agenda games they're helping market or whatever, which is my wife's company. But, I shit on those games all the time, too. It just seems like a great art style. It seems like a great story. It seems like an interesting journey through the life of Venba here. You know what I mean? And, that's what I love.
You love Venba?
I love getting into somebody's head and playing for them and making some kind of rice tower. That's dope as hell.
I like the art style.
Yeah,
the art style, I think, might be the main thing to get me in. That plus how focused on food it is. Like, I love when food in video games just looks so appetizing.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about it where you're like, even in cartoons or in anime, I'm like, oh man, that looks so good. Yeah. But having a game that's fully focused on that, and then getting a cool story and a cool perspective in the game, that very much strikes me as exciting. And so
this is one of my games on my draft too, my fantasy draft with us. So yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Feeling great about my fantasy
draft. Your draft? Have you filled things out since the last time we checked it?
I got that. Remember last time we checked in on kindafunny.com/KF League 2023, where you can see the XCast and PS I Love You squaring off, and it's really just PS I Love You versus PS I Love You because XCast sucks at this.
Oh, XCast is terrible. Isn't that right, Mike?
It was the thing where it was
the LCast.
It was me and Janet had split games, right? Where I had picked up Super Mario RPG Remake, she grabbed Super Mario Wonder, and then I also got Star Ocean Second Story R.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so I picked that up, which is pretty happy. What have you filled out here?
I filled out mine a while ago. Like, mine's all done.
Oh, I thought Viewfinder was a late addition for you.
Well, yeah, no, it was. That was the last thing I picked up. I picked that up right when I got back from Summer Game Fest.
Gotcha.
And so I have that Ghost Runner 2, Helldivers 2, Stray Gods. Like a lot of I have Cocoon on here.
Football Manager 2024.
Oh yeah, Football Manager 2020. You got to play the game.
Smart.
You got to play the game.
But it's also like, that is a guaranteed at least 10 points in December.
Yes. I'm feeling pretty good. It's that thing where there's not much here I would change aside from maybe Hollow Knight. I'm still holding out for Hollow Knight. Maybe coming out as a surprise late this year.
It's not gonna happen, Bless. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe it comes out in December. Maybe they come out and they announce Silksong.
They said very clearly it's not going to be ready anytime soon.
Yeah, but that was in response to the 12 months.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on my thing this will not release. They've confirmed it will not release this year.
So you can drop that.
But it's counter-picked. So can I? Does that not screw it up?
I believe we have that setting off because it's the thing you can put offer on. So I think you should be able to drop that. But then whoever counterpicked that keeps it as a counterpick.
Gotcha.
And so congratulations to.
And we're really sure it's not coming.
Yes, we're positive.
Yeah.
Unless they somehow move it up, which would be insane.
I'm dropping it. The drop request is in.
Yeah.
And I think they probably had Gary counterpick that because they were probably feeling like it wasn't going to come this year.
Yeah, that's kind of, Mike, that's evil. The fact that you had Gary counterpick that. Because what if it did?
Gotta take chances.
Negative 20 points right there.
Gary doesn't.
Gotta take chances.
Fair enough. You're playing a different game because you're not playing against us right now. You're not in the same stratosphere, Mike. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, you're in a different league, Mike. I'm sorry.
Greg?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see who becomes the victor of this year's PSL versus XCast Fantasy Draft. But the results of that are just so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to Mom and Grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, we got absolutely nothing.
Oh.
There's nothing out today. We do have some new dates for you. Pixel Junk Eden 2 swings on to PS5 and PS4 later this year. And then we got some new Xbox Game Pass games for July. McPixel 3, GTA 5, Common Hood, Insurgency, Sandstorm, Exoprimal, Tectonica, and The Cave are all coming to Xbox Game Pass this month. GTA 5. Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for them. And then deal of the day for you, of course, as a reminder, this is the last call for our merch on the RT store. So buy one, get one free with the code BONGOS. That is BONGOS through the end of the week.
KindaFunny.com/old store.
KindaFunny.com/old store. Greg?
Yeah.
Now it's time for KindaFunny.com/you're wrong. Where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. We have just one from Bander SN who writes in and says, Lawrence and Bruce's game news channel is called Inside Games.
Oh, okay.
Inside
Bruce
Games.
is on that. I didn't even know that.
You thought it was just Lawrence?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was confused, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Lawrence and Bruce. I think sometimes the Army pops up on it. But yeah, Inside Games versus Insider Gaming.
Uh-huh.
It's not confusing at all.
Not at all.
Is it Koch Prime Time, Cook Prime Time? And that's it for KindaFunny.com. So you're wrong. This week's hosts for the rest of the week go like this. Tomorrow, you're getting Greg and Tim. Friday, you're getting Tim and Greg. If you're watching this live,
I want your live reaction to this. You're not allowed to say what I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting. Takes a sip out of his gigantic lemonade bottle.
Never a dull moment in the KindaFunny inbox.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. If you're watching this live, of course, only on the YouTube and the live stream, there's gonna be a 30-minute post show where Mike comes through and talks to us hosts about your YouTube super chat questions. So stay tuned after the handshake to hang out with us and have a good time. Greg?
Yeah.
This has been KindaFunny Games Daily.
It has been.
We're each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily.
Mike, you ever drink this much lemonade?
A lot of lemonade.
That's awesome.
I think I talked about this a bit on the Next Gen podcast, that I have such a fear of getting a kidney stone one day.
Yeah.
And so like for like any sugary drink or like, you know, like anything that has a lot of sugar, I had to have a lot of water as well.
Okay. Sure.
I can't have that much lemonade all in one go because I'll get paranoid. That's going to come back to bite me.
What if it's pink lemonade, though?
So, like, do you
some
think
pink
you're
lemonade.
that at danger of a kidney stone?
I think human beings are. Yeah.
Sure. But you really have to fuck up your body. Like, Poe really
lot.
fucked up his body. To like what?
I know a lot of people with kidney stones, though.
Yeah, well, Poe is the only one in my circle as as our age bracket that's had a kidney stone, right? And he got it because he got it in college because he stayed up all week working on a term paper where he only drank coffee and only ate Skittles. Like that's how, and I think he probably did Cokes in there too or whatever.
He was doing coke.
He was doing cocaine?
No, I mean like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You think any of my dork friends or me or any of us have ever done Coke?
Never say never.
Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy, Snowbike Mike, back again for your super chat on a Super Wednesday. It's a Monday. But I guess you worked on Monday, but like it's a Monday feeling type of
feels like
vibe.
a Monday.
But also a Friday type of vibe because I leave to RTX Austin with one Joey Noel tomorrow. We'll see you down there in Texas for some barbecue and a good time with our friends over at the Rooster Teeth Expo.
I'm also going on a trip tomorrow. I'm
you're
gone for
coming
the rest
with
of
us?
the week. Well, not with you guys, sadly.
Come on,
I'm going to
Les.
the opposite side of the country, Seattle.
You go there
You're
too
on that side
often.
of
You
the
should come
country.
down to Texas.
I mean, like
instead.
from Texas. It feels like opposites.
Okay, I like that. I like that. What are you going to do down there?
I'm hanging out with the fam. My sister just had a
Fam.
baby. So
Oh.
I'm visiting them, hanging out with the kid, hanging out with my parents because my parents are visiting as well. So
That's exciting.
we're going to do Seattle things. What does that
Like the
entail?
gum wall.
Probably not the gum wall.
A trip to the UW. See the dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my parents to the UW. We're gonna,
UW.
yeah, we're gonna hang out on campus.
I went up there. Tell you what, beautiful football stadium,
Yeah?
Greggy. Beautiful football
used to- so
stadium.
I
We'll
used to
see
live
it soon
real-
enough in
Yeah.
EA college football. You know what I'm saying?
we will. Go dog.
I used to live basically down the street from UW though.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to live in Eastlake. Eastlake. Shout out to Eastlake. Eastlake is really
Eastlake.
fun. But yeah, like
The Pink Gorilla Games is up there by the campus as well.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been there before.
oh yeah, we've probably been to a lot of the same spots.
We go down to the harbor
The what now?
and hang out at the pier.
Oh, at the pier.
Pike's Place.
Pike's Place is pretty chill.
Take
Pike's
a little
Place is
walk
like,
through
that's
there, buy
touristy,
some
though.
art.
That's like
maybe
all-
chuck a fish. Have you chucked a
Why
fish
did you
yet?
say harbor like you were
Down at the
in
harbor?
Boston?
Yeah, it's like harbor. I was like, what is that?
Have you gone and chucked a fish yet?
No, I've not checked a fish.
Okay, but you call
He's
it
not a
super
real
touristy.
Seattleite.
Exactly. Like if you're
So
not
I
going
didn't
to
know
chuck
you
a
had
fish,
to.
Bless.
I didn't know you had to go to the gum
You
wall
got-
and chuck a fish to
Bless,
be a
here's the
Seattleite.
deal. I would like you to chuck a fish during this vacation trip. Take your family down to Pike's Place. Take a little hour walk, a little stroll to the harbor.
walk.
Maybe you hit the Ferris wheel. I don't know. But all I'm asking you is one video of you chucking a fish and or catching a fish at Pike's Place. Me and Greg will even pay for the fish.
I didn't even know that was an option that we could chuck.
I
a
didn't.
fish.
Wait, why am I paying?
Yeah, of course it's an option. People do it every day, Bless.
Did you not watch Real World Seattle? Come on.
Is there a real world Seattle?
There was, yeah. Irene and all them. Remember, she gets slapped at the end. Sad.
Oh damn. Okay, well maybe I'll chuck a fish. I'll chuck a fish for you guys.
Do your best to chuck a fish. We would really
do
like
my
to
best.
see that. That's your
Yeah.
that's
My family,
that's
like-
your homework of this trip. Chuck a fish.
I'm sure we'll go to Pike's Place because last time I visited, and my dad was there as well. Like we went to Pike's Place, bought some lobster, brought it back, cooked the lobster. It was a really fun time.
Raise your hand. Say, I'd like to chuck that fish.
I'll do
Huck
that.
it at me.
I'll do that.
All right, I'm gonna hold you accountable for
All right.
this. That's right.
By the time somebody held me accountable.
Welcome in, Kind of Funny best friends. It's Mike, and I'm back again for another super chat with our super dudes after a Kind of Funny Games daily episode. Of course, this is where you can get involved and have some fun chatting with us here at the Kind of Funny Spare Bedroom Studio. Of course, if you would like to get involved, you can subscribe at the tier 1 through 3 level on Twitch or for free with Prime Gaming. Don't forget, if you got Amazon Prime, you got Prime Gaming, jabroni. We'd love for you to use it right here with us. If you resubscribe, you can leave a message anytime and let us know what you'd like to talk about today. Of course, we're open to all discussions here in the Super Chat. No matter what it may be, we can dive deeper into today's news topics, or we can bring up random topics of conversation, like Blessing chucking a fish in Seattle. But of course, if you're watching over on YouTube, which we love seeing all those YouTube best friends watching, you can Super Chat anytime with your questions, comments, and concerns, as well to get your comments read. And let's have some fun jumping in and seeing where the chat is taking us
Where
today.
you gotta take a super chat?
Ooh. Now, I'll tell you what. We got some fun ones right now. Let's jump in and say hello to the Twitch audience right now. Wingfan919 has resubscribed with Prime Gaming. They heard the call. The Silence XL resubscribed to the tier 1 level for 15 months. Chaos608 has resubscribed to the tier 1 level for 16 months. And Soul Evo 8 has resubscribed with Prime Gaming for 67 months. Talking about Evo, Bless, let's settle the score right now. What is your dream Evo lineup that you will be attending and watching this year? Give me the big 4 games that you would like to be in attendance for.
This year or just in
This
general?
year, Blessing.
What is the Evo lineup? Let me look up what the Evo lineup
Okay,
for this year is.
okay.
'Cause I know Street Fighter's going to be there. Street Fighter would for sure be on that list. I'm sure Guilty Gear is probably on there too. So let's say Street Fighter, Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, Tekken for sure. Tekken is number 1 actually. Tekken 7 would be number 1. And I'm here it is. I'm looking at the list. Dragon Ball FighterZ would be up there. Dragon Ball FighterZ is always a fun vibe. I love that game. And let's see. Marvel vs. Capcom, I can skip. Melty Blood, that's more Michael Hayam and not me. King of Fighters 15, I really like that game. I don't think I need to see it on the Evo stage. Yeah, it comes down between Mortal Kombat 11 and Dragon Ball FighterZ. I think I'm going Dragon Ball FighterZ over Mortal Kombat. So yeah, I'll say those 4.
Okay, those are a strong 4 right there. Let's jump into some more super chats over on YouTube. El Capitan 22 writes in and says, I just want to know if Barrett and Mike plan on doing a kind of anime episode for the now finished spring season.
The last 2 episodes of kind of anime will kind of be a little bit more focused on specific topics rather than covering an entire season. So kind of anime will return soon with a fun special episode, maybe involving some guests, talking about some specific things. And then the final episode of the year, probably near the end of the year, will also be a very kind of topic of the show type of kind of deal. Stop. Just because I don't know if Mike and I are watching everything that's coming out in these seasons right now.
You've grown up.
I'm watching a lot.
You don't
want to
go home and watch cartoons anymore. It's okay to say.
I've muted Greg's mic.
Yeah, I watch One Piece, and I'm on a 1-track mind there. Also, a lot of One Piece trading cards. I'll tell you what.
Oh no!
Currently,
the thing you get into least is One Piece trading cards. You'd be the only person in
I'm
this
telling
world.
you what, I want those alt arts. I want those full wanted poster cards. There's some really dope ones going on, man.
Hell no.
For what?
Woo, for One Piece.
Oh, I got one piece for you.
Listen.
Right here.
Why would you do that to me? Comedian Aaron T writes in and says, squad up for SDCC Madhouse Comedy Club. If you're going down to San Diego Comedy or San Diego Comic-Con and you're looking for some comedy, go check out comedian Aaron T at the Madhouse Comedy Club.
When is it, Aaron T? Because Greg Miller will be down for not 1, but 2 hosting panels. What are they for? I can't tell you yet, but I have 2 panels coming up for SDCC that you'll hear about soon enough.
Do you need a water boy and a jacket boy? Because we'll come down and assist you.
I do like jackets.
Somebody has to make the content. We can't all just go on every
Jim
trip.
can make the content. We want to go. We want to go really bad. Colin Berry writes in and says, do you think common practice for open world games should be to hide bigger gameplay mechanics like Tears of the Kingdom did with the depths, also inspired by Starfield?
Wait, say that last part. Say it again.
Do you think common practice
for open world games should be to hide bigger gameplay mechanics like Tears of the Kingdom did with the depth? Oh, I see.
so that slowly just kind of feed you something new.
Well, see, that's how I read it at first, but then they say the depths, which makes me think like hide big portions of the game.
And then be like, whoa.
And you get there and be like, whoa. And I like that, right? Like, I like when games are secretive. I'll love to play Starfield and all of a sudden, like, come across something that I'm like, oh, wow, they didn't have this in the trailers. This is fucking great. Like, that's always such a cool thing for me. I would think that, like, I think the depths would still be very impressive, but if we saw the depths in like across like 8 gameplay trailers for Tears of the Kingdom, it would definitely bring down the impact of it of when you first get there. And so, yeah, I think there is something special when games keep their cards to their chest in terms of what they're revealing before you actually get there.
100%. Yeah, I think if your game is as big as Tears of the Kingdom, as big as Starfield, yeah, I hope you're hiding some stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, for something smaller, we're talking about Venba, right? You have to get out there and show what your gameplay mechanics are. Then you have to worry, story beats, stuff like that, right? Where it's like, I think, like Oxenfree 2 coming up. Like, I'm not expecting crazy ass game. I'm gonna tune a radio. I know what Oxenfree is gonna play like, right? But I want the story to surprise me.
Okay, I like that. Greg Miller, the Min Max Show, has just rated us with a party of 94. Say something nice about the Min Max.
I'll tell you what, I love Ben Hansen over there. He's got a great crew.
Got a cool crew.
Got a cool crew.
You have a cool crew.
He takes care of them. He's a good man over there, Ben Hansen. And of course, I think he's on paternity leave right now. Of course, congratulations, having a kid. I think Janet's been doing a bunch of stuff for him. That I don't like. I hope they fire Janet so we can use her full time. Not full time. I'm not going to pay her. I'm not going to pay benefits. You know what I mean? But I don't need her over there talking about Min-Max, talking about this. Just let's take one thing off her plate so she can focus on PS I Love You XOXO, which she will not be on today.
Aren't we recording next cast today?
We're doing both.
Oh, wow. We're doing a little double header for everybody out there. You guys got a special guest to fill in?
No, we're doing bets. We're doing our PlayStation 5, or bets just in general about PlayStation right now. I was gathering some here, right here.
Will the company fold?
Give me one good bet.
Yes.
Well, the big one is...
Hit me.
Okay.
Hit me with one.
Here's one I'm pulling right
Little
from.
one,
And I don't
little
want to do
one.
another slim one. One of the ones that I think is, do you think Spider-Man 2 will be a 90 or above on Metacritic?
90 or above.
Bless can't answer because he's on the show. I need.
Blessing, don't answer. Give me your Metacritic for Spider-Man 1. I mean, my confident answer would be yes, it will be.
Okay.
Right? I think that Spider-Man 1 was 87. I'm thinking 88 in my mind, but I like 90 plus. Yeah.
Okay.
Opening up the area, giving you both Miles and Peter, adding in the symbiote suit, Kraven the Hunter, bringing a new touch, a new flavor. Maybe you'll see some old villains. Maybe you'll see some new ones. So I'm going to go with 90 plus. Yes, is my bet.
That's it. That's a pizza bet right there.
I'm going to bet on that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it going with our YouTube Super Chats because we got some fun ones coming on right now. CJ writes in and says, with no release date for Stellar Blade, Rise of the Ronin, Helldivers 2, etc., do you believe the rumors of a second PlayStation showcase in September?
I feel like this is getting dangerously close to our bets. All right.
Oh,
yes, I love you.
People are excited, I guess. People are excited.
My thought here would be, I believe in another State of Play.
Ah.
I don't believe in another, hey, we're doing another showcase. We're going to do a whole thing. Jim Ryan's talking you through it. I'll give the disembodied voice a chance to talk. And even then, it'll be the normal thing where here's a new look at Helldivers, and we won't get a release date there. It'll be on a blog in an hour later.
Yes. I think we get another PlayStation showcase.
Showcase. Not State of Play.
Showcase.
In September?
Yes.
You know something.
Check
You hosting
my
it? Are you
calendar
hosting
right
it?
around the corner. Are you hosting it?
I wasn't going to show you the email.
That would be lit. That would be great. I love that. Man, that would be a lot of fun. I would love for us to gather around the TV and watch a dope showcase from Sony and see some of these
stuff. Maybe it won't be dope. We don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We've been burned before.
I never said anything about good.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to put it out there. I hope it's good. AK writes in and says, calling my shot, Elder Scrolls 6 will come out 1 week after Guerrilla releases Horizon 3.
That's a fun one, but no.
Go for it.
Okay.
You think Horizon 3 is coming out in 2035? No. I think here's the thing. To give you something to work with here, I think the next GTA comes out right next to the next Horizon. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
Spicy.
Produce the gains. I like this. Hit the gym. Iron Paradise clanging, banging.
Did you go to the gym today, Mike?
Hell no.
Okay. Sorry.
Top 5 or top 3 rappers you love the most? Bless, go first.
God, this is remixed a lot in the last couple of years. Is some rappers have come out and said very bad things about people groups.
Okay.
Top 3 rappers that I love. Lupe Fiasco. I'm putting Lupe Fiasco up there. I'm a big Lupe fan.
Okay, he's a big Lupe fan.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
J. Cole. It's kind of basic, but you know,
like
it is what they're great. What am I supposed to do?
Craig Miller, you're not the biggest rap superstar in the game, but you got some rap to you. Top 5 or top 3 rappers in the game for you?
I still love Tech 9. I love Murs. You know what I mean? Murs is still doing great stuff. Friend of the show, of course.
Murs.
Fellas in the ladies, no. Casey, I don't want to leave anybody out that I'm actually listening to actively, right? Because I listen to Murs actively. I listen to Tech actively.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going for, but Ritz. I like Ritz a lot.
Okay.
I don't listen to a lot of rap though.
Okay. I'm gonna go with my 5.
Okay.
Just had an incredible Tiny Desk performance. I highly recommend.
Mega Ran.
Y'all
Yes, a great
bump
one.
it
Sorry, Mega Ran.
in your car driving home today. Juvenile.
Yep. Shout out to Juvenile.
Woo! There's some banger tracks on that one. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Drizzy Drake always makes me
you're
smile.
right. God damn.
Come on, everybody loves Drake.
man.
Okay. I'm going with Tech 9. Stealing yours because I love a good Tech 9.
Hell yeah.
Tech 9.
David Banner.
Okay, you just went past 3.
David Banner. I'm
getting
going
3 more.
4.
I'm
Okay.
getting 3 more after
Shout out to David Banner, and of course Method Man Redman.
Okay, that was
They're
5.
combo.
That was
They're
5.
combo.
That was 6. You just
They're
did
combo.
6.
They're a combo team.
All
Combo
right.
team.
Shout out Nas.
Okay.
Nas is up there, especially as he's been back killing the game.
Yep.
Drake, I'm also putting Drake in mine.
A lot of people said Mike Drake is trash. Drake could have this.
People just hate what's popular.
Concert of the summer. Concert of the summer. People are saying.
Yeah, people just hate what's popular.
That's what you're saying in your head, so you can justify spending hundreds of dollars to see him.
I'm going. I'm excited.
I had another one, but I forgot what it was. So
Okay,
let's
I'll
just stick
come
with
to you.
those.
DMX, Ti,
Yeah,
Lil
like
Flip,
you're naming like a lot of southern
Ray
rappers.
J,
Ray J's not a rapper.
Ludacris.
Ludacris is great.
Ludacris
is
is up there. He's got to be up there, right?
I'm not gonna let you just keep past
Kendrick Lamar.
Ray J like that.
Ray J. Ray J's definitely on there. We got to talk to Ray J.
Do we?
Yeah, we got to talk Ray J, man. He's the best.
Oh man, shout out Ray J.
Let's keep it going right now. We have some fun ones coming in stare. Eric DiCarlo writes in and says, last week, Nintendo said they want our accounts to transfer to their next consoles. Do y'all think this means our game libraries will transfer too?
I don't think it means anything.
Okay.
I will not take Nintendo. Not that I won't take them at their word, but I will not believe that my games will transfer to my next Nintendo console
Until you're playing your game.
until I'm playing my games on my next Nintendo console.
What do you think, Greg?
I agree with that. You hope so.
Yeah, you hope so.
Nintendo, you never know. They love re-releasing. They love rebuying. They love making you buy everything over again.
Switch 2, backwards compatible. The titles just flow right in.
Amazing.
Nothing crazy. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? That's the
Seems
dream.
easy.
Seems like a layup, right?
Yeah.
You think it will be a Switch 2? You think it will be something crazy like the Wii and Wii U?
If it's-
where all of a sudden it's like we see this, it's like we thought of a brand new idea. Your cell phone, the controller from now on, it's just a streaming box. That's what we decided.
No.
I mean, that
Something
tanks the
crazy.
company. But if it's
Takes
called,
the that's crazier shit.
if it's called the Switch 2, like if it's part of the Switch family, right? Like if Switch is anywhere in the name, I think your software carries over. If it is a brand new brand,
I
don't
hope
think so.
to God they call it the Super Nintendo Switch.
Super Nintendo Switch, not the Super Switch like the chat is saying.
No, I like Super Nintendo Switch.
Super
Bring
Nintendo
it back,
Switch.
it brings it back to the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
Okay.
because its official title is the Nintendo Switch.
you can still call it the SNES too.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. When do we get that announcement?
Who the fuck knows with Nintendo, man? Next year, you think, right? But how long have we been saying it's got to be coming? It's got to be right around the corner. It's got to happen.
I think it'd be dope to get that announcement, let's say this fall, and then next spring. Like I think if they do it like they did the Switch one, where you get the original reveal where somebody in a Mario costume is looking around a curtain and it looks kind of creepy, and they're like, new hardware coming, and then the next season, right, like the Q1 2024, we get the actual event, and they're like, hey, here's all these bangers, man. Here's Metroid Prime 4. Here's the next 3D Mario. Here's I don't know, Kirby in the Forgotten Land 2. Whoa! Here's Arms 2. Here's Splatoon 4.5.
Yeah.
Like I think that's where we get the event.
Stop.
I like this.
Hold up,
I
we
think
don't.
the sequel to ARMS will be called Legs.
Good.
No,
Good.
I think it'll be Arms : I don't know. I think
Still got him.
They still got him. Arms. They're stretching. You know.
Exile Online. Exile Online. Mike, have you bought your tickets to Barbie yet? No. I'm not usually someone who buys movie tickets ahead of time, to be honest with you.
You're
coming
way
from a
too in the
small,
wind. You're way too in the wind.
coming from a small mountain town. We just show up.
You've heard stories. Mike
Just
starts
show
driving
up.
to Tahoe and stops and just turns around. Like, you're telling me he's going to commit
Now,
that
is it
hard to a
'cause-
movie?
Is it because we're getting all these screeners through Kind of Funny?
That's a little bit, but also, yeah. Like,
he leaves in the middle of those, too.
I've never. Okay,
Well, you took
okay.
his mints, Greg. You took his mints.
Yeah, y'all.
It's 'cause I asked for M&Ms
and he
and I
put
didn't
the
even get
junior mints
those.
on the floor. No, I've never bought tickets online ahead of time.
Never.
No, I just show
Not
up.
even for like a midnight showing or anything?
No.
Really? Huh.
Well, it's coming from a town that's so small. There was plenty of
That's
seats.
fair,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? No, I've never. I'm not buying tickets ahead of time. We show up and we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do remember, like back in Ohio, like a midnight showing, it's like there's 10 people there.
Yeah. Is that what people do now? You not like oh, we're gonna go in an hour, let me buy tickets. But like I'm talking weeks ahead of time. Y'all jabronis buy movie tickets weeks ahead of time.
You just reminded me we booked a date night, so I was looking to see what's playing on date night.
I'm not doing that.
I haven't
That's
done like
insane.
weeks ahead.
insane.
Weeks
No,
ahead
it's
would
not
have
insane.
to be for something
Fucking
big,
insane.
like Endgame or like a new Star Wars movie for me, Mike. Anything else, it's like a couple of days ahead of like Alyssa and I are trying to plan like, oh, we're gonna go out to a movie this weekend. Let's get tickets, kind of thing.
I get tickets all the time. I cancel half of them.
Get tickets all the time. What is the statement? I get tickets.
I cancel half of them because we end up getting screeners through KF. But I got to figure out my Barbie plans. Because like I don't know if I'll go. There's like details with like scheduling and stuff of like Barbie and Oppenheimer because those come out on the same day.
Yeah.
That I got to figure out. But I think I'll end up buying Barbie tickets. And so stay tuned on that.
Yeah, a lot of people in
I
the
gotta text my
chat
friend
are
group,
getting
actually.
crazy, right? And it's like the catch is I'm watching my movie on my phone. I'm watching movies at home on the couch. Like I'm not worried about buying a Barbie ticket 4 weeks before the
From
movie's
your
supposed to be coming
mouth
out.
to God's ears.
You know what I mean?
Let's
Tell 'em, Greg.
close movie theaters.
Let's close movie
get 'em
theaters
day
for
and date
good.
Digital. And I know what you're saying. I don't want the theater to close. Fine, then give me what I want.
Yep.
Give me what I want.
Little double.
I like the
Y'all
theater.
jabroni can still go to the movie theater. Let me and Greg watch the movie from the comfort of our own home on our
Go
nice
there and get a
comfy couch
bed bug
the
from the
day
seat.
of.
Go there and have
what are
some
we
guy
doing?
yelling next to you, talking the entire time.
We were
go
so
there and get COVID.
close.
Sit on a
Blessing.
syringe. I don't care.
So
That's your
close.
choice. You can go do that.
We
all
were
right?
never gonna have to go back and buy a $20 popcorn, undercooked chicken tenders.
Nobody's making you buy these things.
The movie theaters are making you buy these things. We
don't
could
have to-
watch
you
from the
don't have
comfort
to
of our
eat
own
tendies.
home.
Yeah, you don't have to eat the.
You don't have to eat tendies.
I gotta park the
When you
car.
watch
I gotta
your
pay
own
for the
stuff,
parking for the car. You know what I mean?
Are you?
I gotta drive. I gotta lose those minutes to go there, and those minutes add up.
Like 10
Listen
minutes
again. I'm
drive
not
to a
trying to
movie theater.
stop. You want to go live your life, ladies and gentlemen. Let me live my life.
Are you eating popcorn when you're eating
Let
when
us
you're
live our
watching movies
life.
at home?
There's a lot of talk in the
No?
news today.
Then don't eat popcorn when you're at the theater. You're the one deciding to eat the popcorn. You made the decision.
I'm not pleased with it, Bless. I'm waiting for him to fold.
But also, movie theater popcorn is fire. Like
It is good.
you
It
can
is
you
so
can get the
good.
$10 out of me for it. So good.
A lot of salt.
Put some salt. I put more salt in it.
Well, see, now that's where the kidney stone conversation comes back.
Oh,
But,
that's
it's, but I'm drinking a lot of water, and when I say water, I mean Coke.
Coke.
I
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
Coke.
yeah.
exactly. Dante 064 writes in. I'm going to be a first-time dad in December.
Hey,
Any
congratulations. Dante.
chances of KF merch for babies in future drops? A kind of funny onesie, maybe. Greg, as a father,
Yeah,
the people want it. And by people, I mean just Dante.
yeah.
Kind of funny baby merch when?
Again, remember when we pivoted to kindoffunny.com/store, the new store, but it's just kindoffunny.com/store. The idea was we could do smaller runs of merch and faster stuff like that.
Yes.
So it's possible. You know what I mean? We'd like to put stuff out that, we don't have 3,000 pieces of that we then have to do a BOGO sale like we're doing at kindoffunny.com/old store. So
Buy
go
our
there.
merch.
Bongo. Remember, bongos is the code or whatever.
Bongo.
But yeah, never count that out. And we'll see what's up. But I wouldn't hold your breath for it either. By the time we do, I mean, we would have to get probably more popular, and your baby will be a teenager. Ben will be running this company.
Remember Blink's the Time Sweeper?
Why is that coming up in conversation?
I don't know. It just came up on my timeline.
Okay.
This is
Some things are left to be
Blinks-
dead.
Blinks-
The movie theaters and
Blinks.
Blinks the
Honestly,
time sleep.
You didn't like Blinks? You don't like Blinks?
More popular than Banjo.
Okay, I don't understand where this Banjo hate is coming from. First of all, Barrett, you like Donkey Kong 64, It's like the same game. You would love
And you
Banjo.
know what? And you know what's fucking? Oh, I played Banjo as a kid. I'm just saying it wouldn't be able to survive. You know what still lives today, Bless?
What's that?
Donkey Kong.
Hey, shout out to that jabroni that I like watching on TikTok. You know who you are. Rocking the Buffalo Sabres merch. A lot of fun gaming content. I know you just had a baby. Just want to shout you out. All right. I hope you're a proud papa out there. Just thinking about you. You know who you are.
Listen, let's be real.
Uh-huh.
Crash fucking sucks.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot sucks.
Oh, that's a bold
You
statement.
know what? You suck.
That's an insane
Like, let's
statement.
just say the truth. Banjo always been better. Always will be better.
Okay. Titus writes in and says, "Sup, fellas? CDL truck driver here. Thanks for your hard work. What up?
Hey.
Kind of Funny Games Daily seriously helps me get through my routes every day. So I just wanted to say thanks for doing what y'all do, fam.
Happy to be here for you.
Thanks for doing what you do. Delivering product around the nation, getting from point A to point B safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought about getting behind the wheel of a big truck
He delivered pizza.
No, I did deliver pizzas back in the day for Pizza Hut.
on a moped?
No, in my car. It was a Toyota Solara.
How'd you do?
I think I did pretty good.
Late? Did you mess up their pizza ever? What happened?
Well, he didn't make
No, I never. There was like
Well,
one,
you know, he could jostle the pizza.
Sure,
If
yeah.
he's jostling the
I was
pizzas, we got a
jostling the
problem.
pizzas. No,
Okay,
there was like maybe like one delivery that I was super late because I couldn't figure out their address. Because they're like in like I don't know some like business building and I just couldn't get there. And like they weren't answering the phone. It was a whole thing.
I hated delivering to businesses.
Yeah, it was the worst. But yeah, most of the time it was fine. You know, there was one blind man that I used to deliver to
Oh, that's
pretty
my favorite
consistently.
story.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice.
and like around like my third or fourth time delivering to him, I like realized that he wasn't tipping.
Well, remember, and to be
I remember
clear,
this story.
yeah,
I
you
remember
went
this
in the
story.
house and you put the pizza
Yeah,
down.
I would have to go in his house, like help him take the pizza out, and then like I would help him sign his name on the receipt and stuff. But like he would never tip. And in my mind, and this is me like sophomore year of college.
Yeah,
right? I was
yeah.
I was young.
Just a young man.
I was just a young man. In my mind, I was like, maybe he doesn't see that there's a tip option. You know, like maybe he just doesn't know. And so about the third time where I'm delivering this pizza and helping him out, I'm like, oh, by the way, like there's an option to tip. Would you like to tip? And he's like, no.
Yeah, he doesn't want to tip.
He didn't want to tip. And I was like, fair enough.
And you're like, cool, I'm going to leave it at the door from here on out. Like, this is how this works.
I'm not even supposed to step into your house, sir.
Co-op 64 writes in, says, question
breaking the
for
rules
Barrett.
right now.
Have you heard of the musician Jeff Rosenstock? Great pop punk artist. His latest single, Liked You Better, seems up your alley.
Yeah, people have recommended him to me before. Not really my thing.
All right.
I'll tell you about the time when I went to a pop punk concert recently with one Tim
Why are you putting
Geddes.
so much pop on all this?
Pop punk. With one Tim Geddes.
Yeah, the Tony Hawk band.
Tony Hawk the musical. And it was lit.
I don't know if that was the
Because
I don't know if
they
that
let-
was-
they
I don't
let
think that
us
was the
play.
title of it.
They let us play Tony Hawk
Uh-huh.
next to the stage that was then projected on the big screen. Kudos to them, thought that was lit.
Kudos.
Bartender had overalls and a sweatshirt on, thought that was lit.
Yeah,
Maybe you should wear yours next week. We match.
Well, you got to tell me, yeah, when you're
We'll go to
doing
the
it.
Shoe Depot. But, they started singing about feeling like garbage and being unloved. And I was like, damn, is this hitting my heart right now? Like, I got to go listen to some Drake is what I thought after that concert. I was like, I got to get pumped up by Drake again. These
Okay.
people, they were touching me too much and I wasn't ready for
You weren't
that
ready
kind
for
of
that.
emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, tough day.
So I'm about 8 years late to discovering this band called Baby Metal.
Okay, yeah.
And let me tell you, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
But also I was thinking about this on my way here because I started listening to Baby Metal and then also switching back and forth between them and Willow. I need more suggestions for female-led metal and also like female-led like pop punk and like that type of music. I want that. So chat or Barrett, if you have any suggestions, holler at me.
Okay. Alex J. Sandoval writes in and says, Bless, are you excited at all for the first Mortal Kombat cast for MK1 coming tomorrow? Hoping for a few more character reveals.
I'm looking that up. Mortal
Now,
Kombat
is that a podcast or is that us revealing characters?
Combat Cast. Oh, it's a special stream run by NetherRealm.
Okay.
I didn't know that was happening tomorrow.
Oh,
Holy cow.
put it on your calendar.
Yeah, this website's not loading, but yeah, that's exciting. If they're revealing characters tomorrow, that's super awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they have to show. I'm more so excited to see what twists they put on characters, because like I've really enjoyed listening to like the direction that they've been taking. Having Scorpion and Sub-Zero be brothers, having Liu Kang be the god, having Raiden just be a dude. I want to hear more about that, right? Like, cool. Is Molina gonna take off her mask all of a sudden? Just it look regular under there? Like I want to see like the shit that I'm not expecting, and so I'm excited for that stuff.
You don't want them to keep all that secretive for you?
I mean, I want to know about some of the surprises, but yeah, I think some of it keeps secret as well. But yeah, I'm done to hear about some of it.
That's cool. Oh, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah,
you know
no, you are. You play everything.
I'm gonna bang the buttons.
Yeah, you are.
Just like I was in Diablo.
Yeah.
Saflexa writes in with a hype chat over on Twitch. Did you know that you can super chat on Twitch now? It's a new feature called hype chat.
Hype chat.
So if you like your message to be up at the top of the chat, or us to be able to see it faster, writes in and says, I'm also having my first kid in like 2 weeks. Greg, any advice for first time gamer dad?
Yeah, I mean, what I've talked about before, especially for where you're at, this is your first kid, and obviously Ben's my first and only child. You got to sit there and appreciate those moments as they come in the very beginning. It's going to be a whirlwind, right, of being in the hospital, I assume, maybe at home. But basically the aftermath of having this newborn baby. You need to understand that your child will never be that small again. They will never be that immobile again. Like there's all this stuff wrapped up in it that I talk all the time and compare to Portillo, right? Where, when Porty got old, and then in 5 or 6 years before he actually died, we had a health scare with him. And he was fine, but it was that thing where I was like, oh man, I'm this close to losing him. Like I have to appreciate every moment with him. And so I'd squeeze his paws more, or smell him more when I take him out, or, talk sweeter or whatever to him. And it was that idea of like, I also compare it to Beyond 200 versus Beyond 300, KindaFunny Live versus 1 versus KindaFunny Live 2, of like doing the damn thing and not taking that moment to actually be in the moment, reflect. What does this feel like? What does this look like? What does it sound like? KindaFunny Live 3, I actually went out on the floor for a while and hung out with everybody when the show was going on. I didn't take that into account for having Ben. And so like those first weeks, even months, right? Like I really don't feel like I was in the moment enough of like, he feels like this small, you know what I mean? Because now I hold him all the time, but he's a dump truck, this kid, you know what I mean? He's a linebacker.
Dump truck.
Like he is humongous and talking and running and doing all these things. And it was like, that hospital stuff was so special and so sleep deprived. And so, for me at least, knock on wood, once in a lifetime, right? I don't want to do this fucking shit again. Once in a lifetime of being there and having those things. And like, don't get me wrong, I have plenty of memories and things from it, but it was like, I really do wish that I like, especially right after him, had the presence of mind, right after he was born, presence of mind to really like just be in that moment and commit all that to memory.
Wait, that's fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
I encourage everyone to be in the moment more. Okay?
I
understand 4th of July just happened, and we all had our phones up like this. Are you ever going to watch that video again?
No.
No,
you're not.
Be in the moment. When you go see T Swift or Drake this summer, put the phone down. Dance a little bit. Love a little bit harder.
Love a little bit harder.
Sing a little bit sweeter. You know what I mean? Enjoy the moments.
Yeah.
Greg, that was some beautiful stuff right there. Maybe when you go see a pop punk band and they start singing about feeling like garbage, you just soak that in a little bit harder.
Maybe you push that part out.
God,
maybe you push that part out, Mike.
Shout out over to the YouTube chat. We got 8 minutes left to have some fun. Hard to Find writes in and says, I love when Barrett mutes Greg's mic. Thanks, sad boy. Fun one over there. Manny Bagel Boy Sanchez
discrimination.
Writes in and says, what's up, KindaFunny Games Daily Crew? Bless, what's your favorite Lupe Fiasco song? Mine is Words I Never Said. The lyrics are so deep, really speaks a lot of truth. Mm-hmm. Damn.
My answer to this question changes pretty regularly, but I think my latest has been Daydreaming. Like I've always loved the song, but my last few times listening to it, when you really take in like the verses to those songs, like both those verses paint a picture. So like verse 1 of Daydreaming, like the hook is incredible. Shout out Jill Scott.
Yeah.
But verse 1 is basically like painting this picture of a project building, right? And like all the different working elements of a project building. And he's basically describing it and describing it as like a giant robot. And so like he'll say, I can't say them. I'm trying to think of like the actual things I can reference in there. But like he's basically like, oh yeah, the arms look like this. I'm piloting, looking at the face, right? Like he's like describing all these different portions of it. And I think it's so beautifully written, and like it's like very poetic in his writing. But then verse 2, I think, is also just another great one. So yeah, Daydreamin' is my latest one. Hurt Me Soul, big fan of that. The Coolest off of his second album, fantastic. I mean, Show Goes On is a classic. That's like one of the popular ones. Great hook, great sound. But yeah, there's plenty of Lupe Fiasco songs I can list as like my favorite. Paris Tokyo, shout out to that.
Blessing and
What's
Mike
up?
for this matter, but Blessing especially because I hear from you a lot on this. Music I know matters so much to you. How do you, and this is, for me, here's where I am. I know a whole bunch of different artists that I listen to on the radio and country music and then, Taylor Swift and yada, yada, yada. But as the album has died and Spotify and streaming has risen and all that stuff, I'll listen to a new Weezer album. What's your favorite song off it? Oh, I don't. The one that goes da da da. Like I don't. It's very rare that I look at the screen to figure out what the track name is to then remember that's my favorite track from the thing. Like are you making the conscious effort to it, or do you just consume music in a way you're listening to a song and you're then looking at the thing and then committing to memory? This is what it is.
I think as the Spotify era has become more and more, like we've gotten deeper into it, I'm definitely not connecting to specific songs and records as strongly as like, back in the day I had like 3 albums a year, right? Like I was listening to the same Lupe album or a Kanye album or whatever over and over and over again, and so that stuff internalized more, and I can tell you I can name you every single graduation song right now. But yeah, I think I connect to things less, but the way that I listen to music now is when there's a new album that comes out, if it's from an artist that I like, I'll listen through the album front to back, and as songs come up and I'm like, oh, I like this song, I have a playlist that is literally like my now playing playlist that I'll just add those songs to. And so like usually it'll be 2 to 3 songs from an album that'll actually make that playlist, and I just go back and I listen to that playlist, so those songs will stick out to me. But then sometimes, if I like the full album, I'll just come back and listen to that album over and over again. But I think I find more opportunities to listen to music just because I really enjoy it. And so like whether it's driving or whether it's when I play FIFA, it was like that's like my like the best time for me to listen to music, because I don't like, it's a lot of dead air, it's a lot of just commentary or whatever. I can fill that in with music, and I can listen to an album front to back in the span of, let's say, a couple of games, and like really I'm taking everything in that moment. And so like, yeah, finding moments like that or cooking or whatever to listen to music is great. Yeah, it's pretty much how I go about it.
Thank you.
That's good stuff right there. Let's keep it going right now with our super chat discussion, because we got some fun ones still coming our way. Keeping it moving. Ariel Knight writes in and says, "What up, Doe? From Detroit, from the D. Shout out.
We know Ariel.
Shout out.
What up, Doe? Don't want anything, just love you guys. I always have you guys on in the background while I'm working."
Oh yeah.
Well, shout out right there.
Shout out to you.
And what up, Doe? Like Jalen and Jacoby used to say. Jalen Rose now let go of ESPN.
Oh,
of
my
course,
gosh.
one of my favorite podcasts was the Jalen and Jacoby podcast. Jacoby, just a couple months ago, was let go of ESPN. Now Jalen as well. Maybe these two can get back together and bring back one of my favorite podcasts.
Maybe.
Listen to a lot of Dan Le Batard show for Andy, and I'm enjoying it, but they just don't
Go
have
buy
the-
Ariel Knight's game.
They don't have the flavor.
What are we talking about right now?
Well, bro, what up, Doe from Detroit? That's Jalen and Jacoby.
The only
Jalen
thing you
Rose
need to
does
know
that.
about Detroit
Okay?
is SummerSlam is there next month. ladies and
Whoa!
gentlemen.
Are we going?
Maybe. Well, you won't go anywhere,
I'm a massive wrestling fan. Did you watch?
I'm aware.
Did you watch Raw?
Remember when
after?
I invited you?
I
massive
know,
wrestling
but I'll
fan
tell you
over for
what,
Money in the Bank.
What happened with that?
Yo, I
What do you
didn't
think
go.
happened?
But did you watch All Money in the
Yeah, I
Bank?
watched All Money in the Bank.
It was incredible,
Was it
man.
really?
They were flying high. Bailey and freaking Bex getting.
Yeah.
Oh my God, handcuffed. Unbelievable stuff.
Logan
The
Paul
tribal
almost
chief.
dying. Yeah.
Come on,
Oh,
man.
this
This stuff was A+ wrestling, y'all.
This Friday. This
Hell
Friday.
yeah.
The trial of the tribal chief
Trial
in
of the
Madison
tribal-
Square Garden.
It's gonna be crazy, man.
I want you to know if there was no Benny, you know what I mean?
You'd be
I'd
there.
be there. I'd buy the ticket.
Holy
I'd buy the ticket. I'd
cannoli.
go.
I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, watched Raw with Kevin A. Sex. All 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah. It's a lot of commitment though. It's a long
It's a
time.
little long, a lot
Yeah.
of commercials. What I didn't like, commercials during the match.
Yeah.
It should go match, commercial, not match. Oh my God. Blessings about the suplex, Greg. Hit me with the commercial. You can't
but
do
that's-
that.
it's always
yeah,
been
I
that
know,
way,
but
though,
you
right?
can't do that.
There was
You
a
gotta
while
fix
where
that.
it wasn't. But yeah, but it was.
I remember
before
back in the
now
day
it
it being like that.
Yeah.
Me as a kid being like, all right, I guess this is how sports is.
Now they're calling him Dirty Dom, which I like
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah. They gotta call him
Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom. God, I
Yeah,
love
went
that
up
guy. Shout out to him and Rhea Ripley.
Chris Wright has written in and says, has there ever been talks of a Nintendo podcast in the vein of the Xcast or PS I Love You XOXO? Greg?
Yeah, no, we're all adults and not stupid babies. So, no. Yeah, there has been. It's just the fact of everything here at Kinda Funny, of course, is organic, right? In terms of, all right, well, I play PlayStation. Obviously, it was my beat for so long at IGN. It made sense to, we're doing the Gamescast, which covers everything. Let's also do this thing, which is a passion project, especially when Bless came back on and wanted to do it. Of course, then, Gary was very pro Xcast trying out. We knew we wanted to work more with Mike, right? We did that, and then that became a full-blown thing. I think it's the same thing here where if we had, obviously, we all play Nintendo to some degree, but who's living in Nintendo? Even Tim being a huge Nintendo fan, I don't think I guess he actually does turn on a Switch all the time, but he would need somebody to bounce off of. We would need somebody to rise up, be like, oh, I play Nintendo primarily as well, and step up and do that. And then, of course, if you, the audience, wanted and all this other stuff, like there's a whole bunch of different things that move with it. But sadly, what I've discovered over the years here at Kinda Funny, because Tim has told me and then shown me figures and graphs of just like, more podcasts do not equal more money. At some point, more podcasts equal less money, and everything's not, it's actually bad investment for our, I'm like, oh, okay, and I take little notes.
Business 101.
Makes sense.
Let's keep it going. We got 2 more to wrap up. Oral Sanchez writes in and says, Destroy Boys is a cool female lead rock band.
Boys.
More punk than pop rock.
Destroy Boys. Okay, I'm down for that.
There you go.
Also,
And
shout out to people that are tweeting at me.
I also just slacked you, Bless.
I love that. See, there you go. Give him some stuff. Manny Bagel Boy Sanchez writes in with our final super chat over on YouTube, and then Twitch. I'll hit you before we go. Being in the moments is important. Yesterday, I took my son to see the fireworks, didn't record anything, just held my son, saw his amazement, and teared up in those moments. That we remember. Greg, you're an awesome father.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Picture, it didn't happen.
I want to show, speaking of Fixer Didn't Happen, I'm going to show this just to Mike and Bless everybody.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll understand.
I'll take a look.
But so Ben is in a phase right now, right? Where he, when he's separated, it's mainly mom. When he's separated from mom, like if some other kid will call for mama at the park and he's out with the nanny, he'll start crying because he remembers he misses mama. And then don't get me wrong, he'll call for dada too, but it's like mainly a mom thing or whatever. So when we went out to the wedding on Saturday night, when we went out to the rehearsal dinner, we had when we did the actual wedding on Sunday
night,
we had a babysitter come through that we know but wasn't our nanny or whatever, so he was especially whatever, and we came in and like in the morning after he had been woken up, and a photo of Jen and I were there. And so now he's been carrying this around when he goes out with the nanny. And so this is a photo I just got of him eating his snack in the park with a bib on, eating his apricot, and then his other hand, he's grasping a photo of me and Jen. It looks like he's looking for us after a natural disaster. You know what I mean? Like he's like waiting to see who's going to come off the boat. Who did they save from the Titanic?
That is great. Let's finish up the sub right now over on the Twitch side of things. Just want to give a shout out to Sith Warlock, who has subscribed with Prime Gaming for 51 months. Love you guys and keep up the great work. We also have another one right now from Arachnids that says, someone give Mike a damn hug. Thanks, Arachnids. We'll have some fun. But we got to get the heck out of here because we got a big day. We got a lot of content coming your way. Me and the Jabroni Boys are returning to Valheim for your afternoon stream. If you're watching on Twitch, you don't got to go anywhere. If you're watching on YouTube, you got to click on a brand new link. P.S. I Love You XOXO is going on.
That's happening in an hour
with a
on
very special guest, which will be dope. And then I take off to RTX. And I'll see you down in Texas, ladies and gentlemen. Me
Will
and Joey
Mike come
will be
back
there.
from Texas? I'm not convinced.
Who knows? We'll see you then. Goodbye, everyone.